We here. Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast. Catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. You know, I have to throw the plug in there, all that good stuff. A cold night in Philadelphia. That's why I got my hat on. It's cold out here.
It is cold.
Sixers win. Beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. What was the final score?
118-94.
118-94. On the back of no other than the league MVP, Joel Embiid. He wasn't being stopped tonight. They were too small. No Cat tonight. No Carl Anthony Towns. Minnesota was entirely too small. They could not match up with Embiid. We did start off really cold in the beginning. We started off cold. But down the stretch, I did see some positives. One positive I seen, Seth Curry looked like he's trying to round back out to form.
Yeah, he had a good third quarter.
What was he? What did he miss? 1-2 shots? Tonight he was 4 for 7, 2 for 3 from 3, which I like to see. He's found his rhythm a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of struggled besides Joel Embiid. Tobias struggled a little bit. He was 2 for 3 from 3, but he struggled on the floor. Ben Simmons struggled mightily to me. Going down the lane, he missed a couple of layups. I think I want to see him make.
Bro, stop. Can we talk real basketball?
Hold on, I'm going
you just talk for like 4 minutes now. You done your segment. You done your segment. We not on here just to hear you go through everything. You just talk for.
I want to see Shake come back to form. He struggled too a little bit. Ben Simmons riled you a little bit.
No, you just hate unnecessarily. So I'm not even gonna feed into.
I'm not hating. You are hating. Did he struggle or not?
Yeah,
I said Toby struggled.
Ho. So did Embiid struggle early on? If you said you wasn't watching the game, Embiid came out.
Watch the game.
Shots. Embiid came out shooting. The whole team.
He did.
Flat. The whole
but
team.
He finished 10 for 19.
The whole team was flat.
Over 50%.
Right. Yep. You're right. He did. But he came out flat, and he should have been killing them from the beginning. They have no center. So I'm not saying the rip. I'm saying as a team, we came out struggling. Flat. And then what we did was, I'll never forget.
It ain't about how you start, it's about how you finish.
I never forget. Yeah, but you ripping Ben Simmons. He started out 0 for 4. He finished with what, 11 and 7?
He had 4 dunks.
So what? It's a basket.
He had 3 dunks and 2 free throws. And he knocked them. He knocked them down. No, here's what I want to say. Based on the game, this was just one of those games where the Timberwolves came out. We the hottest team in the league right now, so they came out a little aggressive, and they came out excited to play a really good team. When you playing a good team, of course you're going to give you.
Go ahead.
Ignore him. Just go ahead.
I'm trying to take the hat off. All
right. Then what you had was Ben, and I will say this about Ben. Ben Simmons had a lot of drives to the lane, and we still waiting for him to just stop and just knock it down like a little jump or floater.
You're waiting because he tried that and he shot an air ball. He can't shoot him. He can't shoot him. That's my whole whole point.
But
you got it in your mind. Ben Simmons going to magically turn it on and beat a shoot. He is what he is. And that's why I'm not hyping him as a shooter and all this other stuff.
But these are the little things he can do that's different.
Yeah, make a layup. Make the little floater. Make that.
So how about make the defensive plays? So you ain't see nothing where he made defensive plays that him and Danny Green. Green actually made a lot of defensive.
No, we agree. His defense is great.
Wayne, seriously, it's a 5-footer too much to ask.
No.
Okay, but this is all I'm saying is you keep focusing on that part of it and not everything else that he does do. You keep talking all this. Oh, he trash. He this. He that. But if Maxey come out and miss 3 shots, well,
he didn't. He didn't.
This game he didn't. He was 0 for 4 last game.
Yeah, this game is 3 for 5.
Again, let's go back because this is what I didn't want to do. I'm trying to get into discussing the team and not hating on individuals.
Stop trying to rip somebody else to cover for Ben.
I'm not trying to rip. All I'm saying is nobody on this team is perfect. They all play their role. Tobias came out struggling, but then he hit some shots.
Ben has to play better. We need them. Them little around the basket, he has to start making them consistently.
Are we winning?
I'm not seeing a jump shot.
You do realize our starting five. You realize our starting five has never lost. When they all play together, they've never lost.
That's true.
I'm talking about down the line.
When you say down the line, but I want to see them. When they all play together, they win. This is my only thing. I don't care about individual stats. They win as a team.
You don't want to see. Okay, since Joel Embiid came in the league, have we seen him get better every year?
Yes.
No. Right. So he regressed last season. He regressed last season.
You don't want to see Ben develop anything better now. Anything better offensively around the back. But you don't want to see none of that.
Because you're stubborn. I've been saying from the beginning. Of course, I would like to see it, but every time,
then don't try to save him.
I'm not trying to save him.
Like everybody else.
For what? I appreciate the things he
gotta get better at the 5-footers.
All right, let's.
So can I explain, Tim, as my view on the game without this hater just hating?
All right.
All I'm saying is when I bring other players in, though, real quick, when I bring other players in, I'm just saying that to say if we're going to hate on everybody for what they didn't do, but I don't want to do that. I want to, especially when we win, I want to look at the positives what we did.
That's fair.
And tonight, what I liked about the team was they came out, they came off of a big game against the Lakers. And this game, you could kind of see a letdown happening, but then they kicked in the third quarter and shut it down. And it reminded me of Clyde Drexler. I remember when he was with Houston, and they was going against the Sixers, and it was a tight game in the first half, and then Houston mopped us in the second half. And they interviewed Drexler, and he said, "What I've always been taught is the first half is for show, the second half is for dough." So if you're hanging around in that first half, if you're the better team, you come out, you put your foot on their neck. And I thought the Sixers as a whole did that.
That's what we did. And I am encouraged with Ben effect that this is the second straight game where he only had one turnover the entire game. That's key because early on, he was averaging about 3-4 turnovers a game. And it's funny because in Doc Rivers' press conference, he said, I didn't have to say nothing to him because the bull, Sam Cassell is be getting up in his tail. And he be screaming him on
better than that.
What's that?
You know, Joel Embiid has 0 turnovers.
No, absolutely.
But Joel Embiid doesn't handle the ball 90% of the time.
But Joel do get a lot of turnovers. So I agree with Ethan.
He had 5. The one couple games ago, he had 5.
Yeah.
But Ben,
what I seen in this game, I mean, I know y'all talk about it was a team game, but I seen Joel take over and put the team on his back and said we're not going to lose. And Joel,
but as a team, I'm saying as a team,
Joel Embiid did what he's supposed to do.
30, you gave 37 and 11.
As a team, they shut it down defensively. That's what I'm. In the first half, Minnesota was hitting a lot of shots.
Yeah,
the Sixers was playing lackadaisical, and even Danny Green. We say what we want about Danny Green. Danny Green comes in and gives quality minutes on defense, hits an occasional shot here and there. So
I mean, he was a plus 17.
Everybody plays their role.
He was a plus 17 today, so I can't. I
thought both teams was off. I actually thought both teams was off in the beginning.
Early on,
Sunday was beating that rim up.
Minnesota was hitting early on.
No,
bro, I was looking at the Minnesota broadcast and they was all giddy, like they're hitting the shots.
I don't think they was hitting it.
Yeah, they was. That second half though, like you said, and that's even like in the first half. Embiid was
Sixers were jump shots 50% from 3-point.
Yeah, but they didn't shoot that many.
They shot 16.
Yeah, they wasn't shooting.
That's because they had B. That's because they had B getting all them free throws and getting in the paint, giving out work.
Yeah, once he finally settled down and decided to do that.
Go
ahead, Tim. My fault.
This was a good game against a bad team, which is a good thing. To me, Sunday's game is going to be more of a barometer as far as going on the road because we got the next 6 games. 6 of the next 8 games on the road. So far, so good. But we play an Indianapolis team that's very good. That Indiana team is they only have 2 less wins than we do.
Yeah.
So are
you impressed with Embiid playing tonight?
This is what I expected Embiid to do against a team that don't have a starting center right now.
It's a bad team. You're supposed to do that.
I mean, I'm not dismissing what he did, though. I'm not dismissing what he did. This is why he's an MVP candidate.
I do gotta admit, Shake Milton is struggling. Struggled tonight. 20 minutes. It seems like Doc is starting to like Thibault a little more. Is it because of his defense?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's the coaches love defense. They don't care about offense.
Yeah, the only person that don't love defense is Ethan. He don't care. He don't care if you don't play no defense as long as you shoot 50%. You good.
It ain't about playing no defense, but you can't have five defenders on the floor. You got to somebody got to score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Embiid is for.
That's why AI averaged 30 a night. Somebody got to score. But Maxi's minutes was reduced tonight, and he actually played well to me. I didn't get that. Maybe Doc was trying to get Shake in rhythm because Shake been off last game or two. He was 4 for 12 tonight. He finished with 13 points, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, but he still struggled to me. Maxey was 3 for 5. Maxey came in and knocked down his first 3 shots.
I still feel that Korkmaz don't need 28 minutes a game. That's just too much.
Korkmaz didn't play bad, but that is Shake is starting to fall out of love for Shake.
Maxey was a -5. That might have been the worst plus minus on the game. Since you want to bring plus minuses all the time, Maxey was a -5.
He's not the only one on the floor though to help eat that.
But he's the only person with a minus with a
because he played 10 minutes. But if you watch,
but he was
Maxey.
No.
See, Maxey's on the floor.
This what you can't do. This what you can't do when you can't make the plus minus. Or that's like in the last.
I'm not, but you got to.
You brought up the plus minus last time. Okay, so what? Because he was only on the floor. Isaiah Joe was only -2. Bradley was -2.
That was 4 minutes. For both of them was 4 minutes.
Okay,
Bradley and Joe.
Bible was +13.
Hold on. Say I play 5 minutes, right?
Korkmaz was +9.
During those 5 minutes, we was outscored by 10 points, right? So that drops me to a minus. But say I get in and I play 5 more minutes, and then at 5 more minutes, we outscored him by 12 or 13. So that ups my minus. So it plays around with the plus and minuses because he's only getting.
He had the worst plus minus.
Now, if you get 30 minutes and you have a negative plus minus, I look at that more.
Yeah, because it fits your narrative. So.
Yeah,
because it fits your narrative.
Why are you mad at me, Kim? Because Ben can't make a layup. Take it out on Ben.
I'm not mad at that. You don't want to bothered by it.
I could make a layup.
I'm fine with what Ben is as a player.
I just like I like the fact that all the players only have to play 20 something minutes besides Tobias. Tobias played 34. We missed that backup power forward.
No, listen, you know what? I gotta give Tobias props too, because I know his stats was off some night. You know what I mean? He had 17, 11. But like you said, Tobias, all the other starters they took out and they sat down. Tobias was still in there. He was struggling with his shot, but he was in there and he was playing. And another thing with Embiid too. Remember, one of the things we all thought Embiid wasn't going to play tonight.
Yeah, if we all gambled, we would have all lost.
We'd have lost.
He fell on his back.
We'd have lost if he didn't play tonight.
He fell on his back. Maybe. You never know how stuff pan out.
I'm. You know what? At first, I thought I liked our bench. Now I'm not feeling our bench too well, man. I'm not feeling our bench. If these dudes don't start upping their game, we might have to start looking to up our bench.
But okay, what is it? Who are you saying was struggling?
I mean, you got
all of them.
Who? Thibault was struggling.
Shake.
Korkmaz was 50%.
Thibault was 1 for 3.
Yeah, you're talking offense.
He's not a scorer.
He's in there for his defense.
Okay. When
everything with you is scoring.
Hold on. When a whole bench sit down, who scores? When a whole starter sit down, who scores?
Well, when he came in, that's when they were relying on what's his name? Harris. They was relying on Tobias.
So you telling me? Well, you telling me we need no scores coming off the bench?
Oh, they had Korkmaz. They had Korkmaz and Harris was supposed to be there, and Shake. Now Shake was struggling, like you said, but Thibault was in there to play the defense, which is what he did. The same way against the Lakers, Thibault was in there for defense.
I'm not talking about defense. I asked you a question. When who's the scorer on the bench?
I just told you, Tobias is supposed to be Tobias and Shake.
Tobias is a starter.
Do you not know how rotations work? You do realize you don't just take the whole 5 out and put a whole new 5 in. You leave.
But it is a point where there's usually not 5 on the floor.
Where to start?
So who off the bench is going to score?
But for the most part, it's not long stretches where you don't have any starters on the court. I just told you. Korkmaz, Shake, and when they was doing a rotation, Tobias. They rotated them out. How many minutes on the game did you think you had where you didn't have any of the starters?
Korkmaz played 28 minutes, so you got faith in Korkmaz scoring?
And he shot 50%.
Yeah, 8 points.
Okay. He shot 50%.
We don't have.
I believe.
I think when Shake get his act together,
double-digit scorer coming off the bench.
When Shake gets his act together,
supposed to be.
Shake will be back to where he was. He was averaging 15 points a game. It's just that the last few games he's been down. I don't know what's going on, but I'm banking that he'll get better sooner rather than later.
I mean, listen, I get it because it's the Philly way. Everything gotta be like, yo, something gonna happen bad. Like we'll look at another team, and it's something about our DNA. We'll look at another team in the league and be like, man, they gonna be tough. They this, they that, and everybody else will be looking at our team like that. But because we so conditioned to being let down in Philly, and we got this underdog mentality, it's like, oh man, they gonna sell us out. Like, let's embrace it. We have one of the top teams in the league.
I agree.
With our flaws and everything we have a top team in the league.
You're right.
But I don't believe I don't look at it, and I don't think Philly fans, you discrediting us totally. I don't even think we look at it like that. You know what the difference is? We not the national media, and we watch these dudes play every night, and we know the ins and outs, and we know what they can't do, and we know what they can do.
But
just
that's
like
why
dudes in the national media was big enough. Can I finish? Dudes in the national media was big enough. Robert Covington, how great he was,
and we all
knew he wasn't that
we
great.
all knew.
Why? Because we watch him day in and day out, but the national media, this dude was a star.
And we do the same thing.
It's like we don't know what we talking about.
We do the same thing. We'll see somebody on another team like, he balling, he a beast, he this, that, and other. Where people in his town like, yo, man, this dude stinking. This is what sports people do. That's what I'm saying. We'll look at our team, instead of looking at our team as we have a top-notch team, a top-tier team, a real challenger for the title. We have that here.
Well, Doc, I will say Doc Rivers said that the other day. He said we do got a pretty good team. He recognizes that our team is pretty decent, and so even when everybody was saying we were a little nervous, he was like, "We all right. We got a good team." So I think, long as the coaching staff believe that,
we won a chip. We
won
a contender. We won a championship team.
We do have a contender.
We do, absolutely.
But this is what I'm saying, Ethan. Like, to your point, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't have valid points with some of the stuff that you're saying, but that's just like what did what's the name come back tonight? The Bucks, because this is, remember, everybody, the Bucks is going to be a problem. The Sixers going to have to struggle against the Bucks. I was looking earlier, the Bucks was getting mopped a little bit, unless they came back. I gotta check the score and see. No, they lost to the Pelicans.
So they lost to
the Pelicans.
Hold on, you don't like that Pelican squad? I like that Pelican squad.
The Pelicans only 7-10. And one of their 7 was just tonight against the Bucks, who was supposed to be. That's all. This is all I'm saying.
I still like that young squad.
I do too. But this is all I'm saying is sometimes we're overly critical of our team, justifiably so sometimes. But right now we have a top tier team.
Yep,
we really do. And instead of, I don't want to focus on breaking down every person on our team and what they don't do. As a team, we have a good team that's starting to gel and get better.
If my view is, if I see where we can get better, I want us to get better. I don't want to stay pat. But if we can get better, get better.
But get better how? But if you're talking about getting better by getting rid of other things, then you're not necessarily getting better.
Yeah.
You might just be making a unilateral movement where you increase your scoring, but decrease your defense. We have a top defense in the league.
That's because of Thibault and Embiid.
To me, our top defense is a lot predicated on that 7'2" guy in the back.
Okay, and a lot of it is also predicated on Ben Simmons.
That 6'10" point guard.
The 6'10" point guard that disrupts a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because even if he don't get steals, that's kind of like the same way. If we remember with Mike and in Chicago, it wasn't necessarily always the steals. It was the idea that you had Scotty and Mike, like and Ron Harper, like they could jump in the lane and disrupt stuff. So sometimes even when you go to pass, you don't just pass cleanly. It's like you think of like, is this ball going to reach in? Is he going to disrupt something? And Ben Simmons is that kind of disruptor. And I mean, for real, Ben Simmons and Thibault are disruptors on here. But I agree with you. Embiid is that anchor and force for that defense, though.
Yeah.
Man, hold on. You talk about the New Orleans. Lonzo Ball came back tonight and dropped 27, 7 for 13 from 3, over 50%. Sheesh. Who saw that coming?
I did.
And he on a trade block. His stock just went up.
That was Lonzo you talking about?
Lonzo, yeah. What I say, LaMelo?
Yeah.
So what
Lonzo
shooting? What he's shooting for the season? Is that what he's shooting for the season?
He shot tonight. He shot 7 for 13. I don't know what he's shooting for the season, but that's what I said. Who's seen that coming?
But that's why I'm saying though. I get what you say. If we can increase our team, like if we could get Levine and not have to give up any of our starting five, I would think it's amazing, and I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I hope Warriors out there trying to work some magic because I think we're a piece away to actually being.
I mean, for I ain't even gonna say top 5. I don't want to give.
Tim just said. Tim is saying what I'm saying.
I ain't gonna cut you.
Go ahead, Tim.
All I'm saying is, as long as I don't got to trade, I don't want to trade Ben. I don't want to trade Toby, and I don't want to trade B.
I just said what I'm saying is we're a piece away from legitimately being the front runner to win it all.
Who do you think the front runner is now in the East?
I said to win it all.
He said win it all.
So who you think is the front runner to win it all right now?
LA and the Clippers.
And we just beat LA, right?
We did.
That's one game. You got to beat them 7. Best out of 7.
In the 7-game series.
All we can go by is the one game. In the one game we beat them, right?
And then I know
that's all we can go by right now. So all I'm saying is I'm not saying that we would necessarily beat them in a. But don't talk to me like. But
I want to say that we're gonna beat them in the 7-game series. Like you're saying, you're not saying. I think if we make one additional move, then I'm like, we definitely gonna beat them in a 7-game series. That's where I want to get.
Say what you're going to definitely going to do.
That's what I want to get to the point where pretty much it's almost a wrap. Like it's scary because right now we good. Right now we're good.
Lonzo Ball is shooting 30% from 3. I just throw that in there.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad. It's not great, but
no, that's bad. That's bad. You got at least average is like 37.
Yeah. I'm just saying from where he came from, though.
And he shot over 50% tonight. I know they was bad about that.
Yeah, he just had a good outing today. It was a good outing. We miss Mike Scott for being our backup backup power forward though. It's too many minutes on Harris. We need to preserve him. We need to preserve everybody. It's a long season and it's still early.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't necessarily because how many minutes he played?
He played the most.
How many
minutes? 34.
But 34 minutes is not a lot of minutes.
Yeah, but we got another game in 2 days.
2 games. I can see if you're saying back to back 2 days. That's typical. That's typical NBA games. So you got guys that average those type of minutes a game. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
these balls aren't built. It
wasn't like he played 42 minutes tonight on a back-to-back night.
I mean, I see what you're saying too.
He had 2 days rest, and he has another 2 days rest, and he played that many minutes. I don't think that was too many minutes for him.
Yeah, today.
It's just that we played against a garbage team, and we would expect that we would have been able to rest our starters a little bit earlier.
I mean, but everybody paid the 20, so they should be good. I like it. Again, we're going to play Indiana on Sunday, and I'm picking the Eagles. I'm picking the Sixers to win again. We're about to close this out, but before we do, what do y'all think about the new Eagles head coach and his new his press conference today?
Real quick though, Tim, before we talk about the Eagles, we definitely got to address John Chaney. We're not going to get out here without showing love to the legend.
Absolutely. We lost a hero, like a hero,
cultural icon, especially in Philly.
89-year-old John Chaney. He had lived a long life, and I mean, he didn't make it no Final Fours, but I seen a lot of Elite Eights that he got his teams to. And I grew up. I always rooted for Temple anyway. That was the local team. So even though I went to, I like St. Joe's with the St. Joe's, but I still root for Temple. So just shout out to the man, the legend.
What was you saying about him, Ethan?
Oh yeah.
Was you saying something?
I said he did a lot. He did a lot in the community too. He did a lot for people. Helped a lot of young black men out too.
That's what I appreciate about him. He helped raise a lot of young men. Like when you talk about all the players, like
raise Aaron boys McKee, into men.
Yeah, exactly. When you talk about like an Aaron McKee and Mark Jackson and all these dudes, when they talk about John Chaney, like he was a father figure. Like he was. And I was listening to Mark Jackson talk about him, man. I ain't gonna hold you. When I heard boys talk about him, like I teared up a little bit because I respected that man. Like, and it's funny because we always think like he the crotchety old man, but they was like, man, he was so nice and so loving. But that's just how he taught. But if they was like, when you know him, like he would get a world for you, and he made sure that he helped these young boys to become quality young men in society.
That matchup zone, remember they used to do that. That was his trade. That was his trade. No, 7. They did like 5 a.m. practices. They used to do 6
a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. practices. Remember John Calipari when he was trying to get in a fight with the bull back in the day?
I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. I'm gonna kill you.
Yo, I say we lost legends like between him and
send
John
the goons
Thompson.
out. Remember, wasn't that him? You got sometimes you got to send the goons out.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he was legendary. I mean, if you grew up in the 90s, you remember him.
No, that's 80s. You talking about the 80s, bro.
Well, 80s and the 90s.
I'm trying to make it like you were no 90s, baby. You was in the 80s.
No, what I'm saying is I'm saying he was up in the 80s and 90s when whatchamacallit was playing, Aaron McKee. They was all playing in the early 90s, and that's what we saw. Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones, Rick Brunson, and all of them.
Mark Macon and them was in the 80s though. Yeah, Mark Macon and all them boys. So.
And Pepe's.
Hey Tim, how's it feel to have a head coach in the city that's younger than you?
That's the crazy thing.
Okay, back to the Eagles, dude.
All right, so the Eagles to this week, the Eagles coach got out there. Not this week, but today, he had his presser. And I was thoroughly unimpressed. I listened to him, and I tried to be. I had to go in there open-minded because I was a Doug fan. I was a huge Doug Peterson fan. So I was like, you know what, Doug left. Fine, let's see what he has to say. How did he beat out the competition? And as I listened to him, I felt like he read every manual on leadership and tried to use all these special words, all these like key words, like. We got to be motivational and leader, like all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you don't sound good at all. To me, men ain't going to follow you. Who's going to follow you?
Well, that's what Laurie said. He was a leader of men. This is what he said. Honestly, I was unimpressed by the press conference. I mean, I'm still, go ahead, Ethan. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm not going to judge that man like that off of one run presser.
I will
see what he do with the team. How he is with the men in the locker room. You don't know if he's a leader until he gets the men in there. So we'll have to take it from there. I'm not going.
No, I agree with that.
I'm not going to overly criticize him over something he probably was nervous about. Just first head coaching job. He old enough. You old enough to be his dad, Tim, and I'm not.
No, you know what's funny though, because I actually agree with you, but I was irked by the press conference because the press conference to me just felt so. That's like I'm a Deuce fan.
That's my point.
I think Deuce has done a lot for the city. We've had quality running backs the whole time. Deuce has been our running backs coach.
Yep.
So I do think that Deuce does a good job of what he does. Why doesn't he ever get a shot? Why didn't he ever get a shot at offensive coordinator or head coach?
Because Sirianni never called plays before.
Right.
So if you're going to say Deuce never called plays, well, neither has this dude.
Right. And I didn't like another thing Doug said. I mean, not Doug, but Laurie said. He was like, it's not about the big name. You know, he's like, there's a lot of young, talented guys out there. It's not necessarily about the big. So to me, he's saying like he ain't worried about the Eric Bieniemys or these dudes with the big names. But Laurie always think because they got Andy Reid the way they got him, Laurie thinks he could just go in, like he has this eye that he could just go in and find the guy that ain't been given a chance yet, and he's going to be that guy. And it worked with Andy Reid, but I mean, Doug won the Super Bowl, but I don't think Doug was a great coach.
I think Doug was a pretty decent coach. I seen him.
I don't think Doug was a great coach either. But I'll let
that team went to the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. So say what you want.
Because our division stunk.
Our
division stunk.
They stunk this year. How'd it work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I ain't gonna sit here and get this. We ain't gonna sit here and get this. If we talking, we had a good thing with the Sixers.
Yeah, let's go. Let it on a good note.
All right, we're gonna end on a good note. But what I will say is, I wasn't impressed at all, and the fact that Deuce wasn't able to get a shot, and then Lawrence talking about something, he's like a son of him. I like imagine how you treat like a stranger.
Yeah, he back to the Sixers. He back to the Eagles. Listen,
all right.
listen. Do me a favor. Y'all, if y'all made it this far in the podcast, leave y'all
I know,
starting,
right?
leave y'all starting 5 or starting 10 in the comments. We're gonna do our starting All-Star next week. We doing it next week?
We'll be here on Sunday after the game.
Or we gonna do it Sunday?
Are you sure about that?
Well, most of us will be here Sunday after the game.
We're gonna do it Sunday after the game. Are y'all voting for Tobias Harris for All-Star?
No,
absolutely, I am.
No, as a reserve, he's not a starter.
Who you put over?
KD.
KD play half game. KD don't play every game.
Yeah, I can't even. Who can argue that?
I know.
KD. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button, and we definitely will see you on our next video after the game Sunday.
R.I.P. Cicely Tyson.
Oh man, shout out
Cicely Tyson.
We lost Warriors. We lost cultural icons this week, man.
Yep.
But we out.
All right.
Talk to y'all later.
We out.